And we're live. I remember when we
Yeah,
used to say
man.
that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
remember that
yeah,
was your entry line as always.
yeah, we're live. It's Sunday evening, Sunday morning for you. Um, Obviously no Springbok rugby this past weekend, but we do have plenty of other things to discuss.
Yeah.
Um, God, I feel a bit. Did you get up early enough to listen to my interview?
Man, I overslept on that shit.
Dude, I'm not mad at all. God, I'm still recovering because it was like 7:30 a.m. your time, which
Yeah.
is 12:30 a.m. my time. So like
Yeah.
I slept a bit, I got up, I did that, and then I slept some more. And Jess and I both, it was obviously a big deal. I was on the radio
How was
in,
it? How was it
in
though?
South
Like
Africa.
what did y'all discuss, man?
So it's an Afrikaans station based out of Port Elizabeth, and I guess they had been playing some of my TikTok clips online, and
Yeah.
move this over to here so I'll quit staring down. Um, they had been playing some of my TikTok clips online, and I guess one of their followers had kind of reached out and said, "Hey, like we know that guy," and so they reached out to me. So it was really just the kind of, hey, how did you get into it? What's your background? Like the standard stuff, very brief, like 10 minutes long. And it was like a guy our age. And then I guess the main host was older, like sounded like he was maybe mid 50s, early 60s, maybe.
Yeah.
And all Afrikaans, obviously. I mean, they were speaking English to me, but then it was like they knew I could understand what they were saying in Afrikaans.
Yeah.
So they just kind of would say what they were saying in Afrikaans and talk to me. And it was cool. I think it's going to become a regular thing.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
I was their first international guest they had ever had on, and I guess it's a different perspective, which I think for a lot of South Africans, they gravitate towards me because
Yeah.
I'm of their culture, but not of the culture. Like I'm a happy medium. So I think a lot of the, especially the ones here in America, the H-2A visa ones, gravitate towards me because I understand them. I guess to an extent, maybe that's what it
I,
is.
I
So
think I think it's also because of your passion, man. Look, I mean, that is initially what drew us together, right? Is that
yeah,
we both had a passion and a love for the Springboks. And that's something that people get around. I mean, if you we've discussed it many times about the passion in South African rugby and the Springbok supporters and stuff like that. And you can see as well people like, for instance, let's say Tim from Egg Chasers, right? He comes to South Africa. Like, everybody loves the man because he's got such an open opinion. He's not biased in any way. He gives like respect where respect is due, right? And so people tend to really enjoy people that you know are passionate about their people as much as they are, right? So with your, I mean, look behind you, man. You've got a fucking South African flag. Look at your shoulder. You've got a
yeah,
fucking South
yeah,
African
yeah, yeah,
flag.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
It's
so
it's
I mean, those are all things that we enjoy, right? Because we are passionate about the country, and we love that other people love it too. Because a lot of people look down upon us, and I guess also from false news out there, right?
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, the perception people get of Africa and South Africa as a whole. Um, so when people like yourself, of course, shed some light to those in your regions, I would say in the northern Americas,
Hemisphere. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah,
it's appreciated. So
yeah, and I appreciate the support I get from that community here in America. And I mean, I've told them time and time again that I get to eat because of you guys, because you come over here and you work the farms. I get to eat because of you guys. So I'm very thankful to not just the South Africans here, but South Africans all over the world. And obviously, the feedback on it was was very, very positive. A lot of people were like, we like this guy. I mean, what's not to like? I love Springbok. So, but yeah, it'll be a regular thing, hopefully in the future. And, we can open some more doors and whatnot. So, I get done with it and I come out, and at the very end of the last thing they let me say, I had to give a shout out. And, my loving wife, Jess, and I walk in there and she's crying because, I can't go without mentioning my wife. So,
of course.
But so we had an interesting week, some rumors that kind of came about, and I want to go ahead and just bring the first one on here for the world to see. So apparently, the rumor started Thursday that the URC had met with the Premiership in England, and the general vibe was that they were looking at taking the 4 Welsh sides, the 2 Scottish sides, the 4 Irish sides, and merging with the Premiership in England. Apparently, the Premiership did not want the South African or Italian sides to join, and this was later dispelled as a rumor by the URC, but my opinions on that, honestly, and I think you would agree with me wholeheartedly on this. It's like you don't have any problem using our players.
Yeah,
you just don't want our teams.
Look, man,
because we embarrass you.
It makes sense.
We embarrass you. That's why.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, they also want to stand a chance to win something, So, let's be quite frank, okay? The Premiership is fucking trash, in my opinion. Okay,
yes.
And a lot of people would agree. I think the Irish teams would agree. I think the Welsh teams would agree. I would think that the Scottish teams would agree. And of course, we agree with ourselves. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think, like when I watch those Premiership games, like, of the Harlequins and those type of teams, I just don't think they're up to the par, man, of the URC teams that's currently there. Sure, there's some Italian teams there, and some of them never really amount to much. But they're all competitive on different games. So, because you find sometimes the team, like, to put it to you this way, like, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, right? So we started an internal pool at work for the URC games, on Super Brew, I think it was. Okay. And so the one guy that works with us, he actually doesn't know shit about rugby, and he went on and chose his team selection based on names because he liked the names alone, right?
Did he pick Zebra?
Like he picked the one. No, the one he picked was the Dragons against somebody or whatever.
Okay,
right?
okay, yeah.
Okay, and they weren't like in that game. They were not supposed to win, right?
And they won.
It was against somebody like Munster or fucking I can't remember.
Yeah.
All right, but it was like a no-brainer. Everybody went the other way. Okay, and that team fucking won. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Okay, so anyways, this is what I'm trying to say is that, on the day, if a team is just not clicking together, the other team can beat them. And, so I find it still interesting. I think that there's a nice mix of teams in that competition. And to be honest, the Premiership, to me, is kind of...
There's 2 or 3 good teams. The rest of them are trash. The thing I like about the URC is what you just brought up. There's parity. Like, there is the possibility of the bottom table team beating the top table team. It does happen. And you can't discount that. I mean, like I said, when the URC started, I missed Super Rugby. I missed it like crazy. But to be completely honest with you now, after having these games in Australia and having games in New Zealand, fuck that, man. Fuck those times, dude. Like, the earliest I have to get up to watch a game now is if there's like a 7:30 a.m. It's a noon game for you guys, or a 1 p.m. game. I don't have to get up at 3 in the morning or 1 in the morning to watch rugby matches anymore, and I'm thankful for that. And I kind of feel like the thing that really shocked me once I posted my opinion about this was the fact that, like, the Irish URC fans were definitely beef. It's the beef is there, but they were like, man, Premiership can fuck off. Like, we're not doing this without you guys. Like, you guys have made us better. And it was, it was kind of like a bit of like, right on.
Yeah.
When we play each other, we fucking hate you. But when it comes to the worldwide picture, we're on the same page. And that was my main point, was like,
Yeah.
and it was cool.
I saw your TikTok on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool to see the Irish fans kind of saying, like, dude, we're not interested. You guys have got to be a part of it if we do this. And I was like, God, you know what, man? Thank you guys. Like, they appreciate, like, that's the thing. I feel like Super Rugby didn't appreciate us at the end. And now they're like, fuck, what are we going to do? You know? And it's like, well, you could have done a lot, but you chose not to. You chose to, send us by the wayside. So
just let that fucking end. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you don't know what you got until it's gone. It's the really bad 80s song. You don't know what you got till it's gone. Like, that's what it is. So we got that.
Yeah,
that's
do that
out
again,
of the
man.
way.
That was pretty.
Fuck, you have a horrible singing voice. So we've got the traveling group that headed over to Argentina. There are a couple of late changes to it. There is no Grant Williams. Morne Vandenberg of the Lions has replaced him. And kind of go through this list. Our props are Thomas de Toy, Vincent Koch, Oxen Che, and Gerhard Steenkamp.
Yeah.
I'm good with every single one of those.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Hookers are Johan Krobler and Malcolm Marks.
Yeah.
No worries there. Locks, we've got Evan Etzebeth, Nicholas Jans van Rensburg, who's been playing in Montpellier, Salman Marat, and Rowan Norkie. Norkie has really grown on me. I like him a lot now.
Yeah, I like Rowan Norkie.
Yeah.
He's actually played very well for the Bulls, and so I think he's like, he reminds me so much of Lothar Jager. It's actually fucking ridiculous, man. Like, like when you see him, it's just like he's got like almost a similar build. He's just like this tall fucking guy that just like
the beard and everything. Yeah, like,
and it just doesn't look athletic, man. If you look at him, he doesn't really look that athletic.
He just looks like a tall
guy.
Yeah. It's Then we've got the loose forwards: Ben Jason Dixon, Sia Colisi, Elhrig Lowe, Quagga Smith, Marco Van Staden, and Jasper Feza. I've got no issues with any of those.
Yeah.
A utility forward, Jan Hendrik Vessels, plays for the Bulls. He can kind of do whatever.
Yeah.
Jaden Hendricks, Kobus Reinek, and Morne Vandenberg are the scrum halves. I think this is so weird. We're sending all this over for one game.
Yeah. But also remember, they have to prepare each other. Like in a week. I'm pretty sure they're going to do something still.
We've got fly halves. No Sasha Feinberg. We've got Manny Lebach and Henry Pollard.
Yep.
Centers, we've got Lucanio Am and Jesse Creel.
Yep.
Outside backs, we've got our wingers. We've got Kurtley Arenza, Afalala Fossey, Makazole Mampipi. Those are our three wings. And then a utility back in Kanan Moody. So I don't think we're I want to start Manny at 10 and put Andre at 12.
That's the only thing that makes sense to me, man.
So
like
if
you need somebody that can kick the fucking ball. Like, it's going to look weird if he misses the first one or two kicks and now you bring on 100 Pollard at like the 12th minute. You know, it's going to be weird.
Yeah.
So I would imagine, I would probably start Pollard at 12, for sure. And have Monty Lebach on there to just like corral get the guards going,
Well, there's nothing wrong with his attacking ability. It's just he just can't kick. Like, he can't kick to post. Speaking of
in-game kicks, his in-game kicks is decent.
Yeah.
Generally, he's got a. It's
his
really
conversions. It's his conversions. It's his conversions.
Yeah.
So, speaking of which, I didn't add it to the list of notes because I tried to going off of a list here. Went out and caught the local collegiate club side, University of North Texas. They were taking on the University of Texas Dallas here in Denton last night. Big win for the Mean Green, 61-0 in the game. It was a massacre. Their 10 was doing their conversion kicking, and he was horrible. Like, his were like not even close. So for the last, I'd say 20 minutes of the game, the guy in the number 18 jersey, a prop, was doing their kicking.
Okay.
He went 3 of 5. This fat boy could kick. He could kick, man. I was cheering him on because I mean I'm a fat boy too. I know what it's like to be a fat boy. That fat boy could kick, man. He could kick. Like it was. I was on TikTok live and these guys were like, okay, is he gonna nail this? And it was like, sure enough, when the fat boy hit a couple of them, they were like, damn, that prop can kick. But it was a good fun. It was just out of the park. Unfortunately, it was we got a fake fall. Summer came back. It was like 33 and like 90% humidity last night. So,
fun.
Well, there was a hurricane that hit the coast. We didn't get any rain, but we got all the humidity is what we got from it. So, yeah, it was fun to just go out and kind of watch club rugby. None of these guys are on scholarship. It's a club team. They just volunteer to play. They want to play, so they put a team together. So, right on for the Mean Green of North Texas. Great win to start off the season. So, next thing I wanted to move to, we've got options obviously for this game next Saturday. We will probably get the lineup Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Rassi will give us a lineup. I think we get the dub no matter what. I just think we're on that level right now, but I think it's going to be fun regardless. So next thing I wanted to move to, bit of controversy yesterday in the Curry Cup semifinals as the Sharks and the Bulls tie, but the Sharks advance after 102 minutes of play. They let it go. The winning, I guess they went by try count as opposed to score. Yeah. And the winning try scored by the 35-year-old dual World Cup winner, Trevor Nakane. I was once again, the fat boys get down. You gotta love it when the fat boys get the tries, so we will have next Saturday, right down the road from you at Ellis Park, we will have the Lions taking on the Sharks in the Curry Cup final.
I think the Lions got this one, man.
They do, but the Sharks just have so much, man. They've got Esterhuizen. They've got so much on that team.
But they don't have a fucking coach.
I am a bit bummed by something, though. So the Lions had Hendricksa for all this time, and he just never really, shined. And now he goes to the Sharks, and he's playing, fucking lights out there. And you're just like, where was that? Where was that? I know he was getting overshined by Nahamba. I know that's what it was, but come on, man.
I honestly think the Lions got this one. That's my opinion. The Lions don't have a lot of big names, but they are well coached, and they've got a very good I think culture within themselves. They gel well together. Whereas the Sharks has got all the cattle, and they've always, for this last couple of years, have had all the cattle. And I mean, Khaleesi's going back again as well, right?
Yep.
But honestly, bro, their coach to me, Plumtree, he's just.
Well, I don't think he coaches the Curry Cup side. I think they have a separate coach.
That's the Sharks, right?
But I mean, it's. I mean, I get what you're saying. It's the culture that's instilled, and even as much as I love the Bulls, because that's geographically that's my team. I got a soft spot for the Lions, man. I don't know what it is. I think it's because they're the little team that could. They had Alberts, who was 41 years old, still playing. They get the aging guys, and then they build these guys out of nothing. Quan Horn is fucking JC Pretori. These guys are dynamic players who just kind of they started out somewhere else. It didn't really pan out. They came to the Lions and they've reinvented themselves. And, and you got the hump. you got Nahamba. He is absolutely electric at 9 or 10. He's so dynamic, undersized as shit, but God, the guy can move the ball, man.
Yeah, I've got a guy at the office. He's probably the only Lion supporter there, by the name of Marku. And I told him the one day I'm going to give him a shout out. But anyways, so so I always give him shit about it because, I'm a Bull supporter and he's a Lion supporter. And then like last week, when the Lions played the Bulls and the Lions won, they were like fucking angry, right? Anyway, so I told him, yeah, but you have to remember, like, you guys basically played our fucking netball team or something because I mean, like, all our players are in the fucking Springboks. So I always just have to give him flack for it, right? I always have to give him shit. But I mean, honestly, the Lions do play a good game. They're a well-oiled engine. And I honestly think the way they've been playing this year, man, they beat everybody like 50, 60 points. That's every fucking game they played this year so far. It's been like 50, 60 points that they rack up against their opposition. And that just goes to show this guys, they got the speed, the pace. They've got, the guys that's driven, to make a success. And I really hope that they win this year, to be honest. And I do believe that they've got it in them to actually topple the Sharks. A very, very, very strong team.
So another thing that has come up, I didn't make a video on it, but it's come up kind of in comment sections. So obviously Springboks sold out every single home game this year, which is what they should do all the time. They need it. That it helps them. They feed off the energy. There's been a lot of calls for if we've discussed this many times, the issues with Ellis Park. It's not the stadium, it's the neighborhood. Obviously, it's in a bad neighborhood. And as a matter of fact, another content creator, Drew Binsky, he's a traveling content creator. He's been to all the countries, whatever. He made a list of his 5 least favorite cities in the world, and at number 5 was Johannesburg. And the reason being was that he said he never felt safe there. Like,
yeah, man.
And then I messaged him and I was like, have you been to Cape Town yet? And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay, after you do Cape Town, you'll see all the touristy shit. Go on the other side of the mountain. That will be your least favorite city. The Cape Flats is horrible. But anyways, there's been talk of why don't we do a game at FNB Stadium? It's a 90,000 capacity stadium. Is that that's up north, right? Or where is FNB is in? Hold on.
I don't even fucking know where that is, man.
Do you know what I'm talking about, though?
Yeah, I do know which one you're talking about, but I can't remember FNB.
I'm about to look at where it is at. Hold on. I got to pull up the map here.
I'm pretty sure it's in the south of Joburg. But
yeah, it is. It's in the south. It's
I'm sure that's the one that isn't that the one that got taken over? I know there was one stadium, it was massive there in the south of Joburg that a company called We Buy Cars took over or something.
Okay. Yeah, this one is over off of M70 and 69. It's looks like it's just north of the Joburg Expo Center. So yes, it's South Johannesburg. It's 90,000 capacity. Would you be keen to that? Would you be keen to them doing a game there?
Man, I think for me, anywhere in Joburg's kind of trashy. So
really,
I guess it should be fine. I mean, it's not in like within a bad area. It's alongside a bad area, I guess. But yeah, Joburg, like any of these stadiums, really. Like if you have a look at Joburg, Pretoria, they're all really like in towny type of areas, and it's not very nice. Like Pretoria's not too bad, but I mean it's still bad if you're like walking out there alone at night. You know what I mean?
I never saw any issues with Loftus Versfeld, but I also went with crowds of people, so maybe that also was like, hey, you never got messed with because you were with a crowd of people when you went to games. And I wouldn't mind seeing it. 90,000 people. If we could pack 90,000 butts into a stadium for a Springbok game, I mean, could you imagine if everyone started singing the anthem? Like, you wouldn't need a PA system because it would drown everything out. Yeah. And I think they should. I would be keen to it. I'm guessing you're saying, yeah, I'd be okay too.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think they can take the local fucking stadium, in Boksburg, and they'll still fill more fucking bums in seats than what they do on that Emirates airline park. So
yeah,
I mean, that's generally for Springboks to be sold out, but I mean, like, the Lions are there, and that's their home ground and home turf and whatnot. But I mean, to be quite frank, majority of the Lions supporters probably in Boksburg and the East Rand. Number one, and secondly, nobody wants to fucking go there to the Joburg CBD. So if they do a local place here, I'm pretty sure everybody will fucking rock up, and these guys will actually have an atmosphere and a bunch of people coming to their games, man. Like, it's sad when I have a look at the Curry Cup games and there's like literally fucking nobody there. The only people that's there really is like, well, this is what my opinion is, but anyways, there's probably all the fucking people that work there and their families and the players' families, and that's probably the only people that are rocking up, and the fucking cameraman. And I'm like,
I actually have a follower that goes to their games. Cindy, really sweet lady. She's got 2 young children. Her son plays hockey. Field hockey, not ice hockey like I played. But her husband is the groundskeeper at Emirates Airlines Park. So that's why they're at every game, because he works there. I imagine it's probably a lot of the girlfriends and wives as well that go out. I mean, it's sad to see, but it's the reality of it. I think apparently there was another bit of controversy around the Cape Town game. Apparently, I won't mention the guy's name, but he's a news reporter on SABC who went on some rant about how they didn't make tickets affordable for everybody. And I'm just kind of like, it's a stadium.
Has that guy seen NFL prices?
Well, like, no, it's a stadium, my guy. Like, it only has so many seats. Demand is going to drive the price up. It's not some government plot to keep you from getting Springbok tickets.
Yeah.
The demand,
and to be quite frank, that guy probably got fucking tickets free anyway. So what is he
exactly? Well, like, and that's what I'm saying.
On other people's behalf.
Like, am I a fan of high ticket prices? No. Could I afford ticket prices to Springbok games? Of course I could. Yeah. Do I think there's some conspiracy? No. It's demand is high, price is high. That's it's basic economics, my friend. Like, don't go on. It's
not just that, man. Let's just do the economics on that, right? Okay, I'm no economist or anything, but I mean, that piece of fucking land, okay? How much does that thing cost to maintain? Okay, and how many games does it see per annum for Springboks? Okay, and let's go have a look at the provincial teams now. Okay, how many games do they play a year? Okay, on that grounds. Okay, so let's be quite frank. Okay, there's people that need to maintain that thing. That costs money. There's water, irrigation. There's power.
The electricity.
Everything there to keep that thing going all year round. And you want to come and complain about ticket prices?
Ticket prices.
Yeah. Okay? I speak for the general public because I'm a general public person.
General public.
I have to pay those prices, right? I have to pay those prices, and I understand the costs involved. Okay. And also, still, I mean, those guys need to get paid. Okay. Yeah. The rugby unions get some money from wherever investment that they can get from. I'm pretty sure they get some money from the actual games they play there as well. I mean, let's be quite frank. I mean, at the end of the day, these guys are there for our entertainment. They put their bodies on the line, and what are you complaining about, mate? Like, you probably go to the games for free anyways, being in fucking broadcasting. So you're complaining for nobody.
I just kind of thought it was funny when he did it. I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to crap on it, but it was like, look, it's basic economics, my friend. The price is going to go up by the demand, and I wish. But I'll say this. Well, anyway, but I'll say this. You complain about that, but it seems that we finally have a sport minister that sees, hey, everybody needs to watch this. So he calls SABC and says, hey, you need to broadcast these games. Love him or hate him, that was a master move by Gaten McKenzie. Love him or hate him, I felt like that was like a great move on his part to say, hey, people want to watch these games. Let's make it free for them to watch. And I agree.
I don't know if that's a political move or what, but
who cares what it is? It's it's a good dude move. Like that's not a good person would do,
But that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's a good person move or if it's actually just a political move. Because if you think about it logistically, right?
Yeah.
I mean, whenever people get behind the Springboks, right, people get better support. Okay. I mean, Mandela knew it to be true. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is why he made that speech and he was there behind the Springboks in 95, handing that thing over, like being there. Okay. He knows that the Springboks unify. Okay. He knows that people get behind these type of guys that support something that they love. And this is the same conversation we had earlier, really, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So what I'm saying is, I don't know if it's a political move, all right, or if he did it for the betterment of people. But I mean, we're benefiting, so I'm not complaining. So
that's
bro.
Yeah.
And we will keep supporting you. How's that?
I mean, like the way I feel about it is, don't muck with my team, don't mess with my team. And from what I've seen, the conversations I've seen, the way he acts, he's basically that. He's like, look, I don't have to worry about this. These guys are fine. Now he wants to concentrate on like the soccer team, and that's fine. Do your thing. Just don't fuck with my Springboks, please. Just don't fuck with that. Leave that alone. And he seems to have gotten that piece of advice with zero interference. So yeah. So we've got kind of to switch it up a bit for a second here. The NFL season is in full swing here in the U.S.
Yeah.
I find it. How do you say midday? Goeiemorgen's morning, goeiemorgen's evening.
Middag.
Not what?
Middag.
Middag. Yeah.
Middag.
Which is funny because it's mid-tog in German. But anyways, the NFL's back in full swing. I've tried watching it. The more I've gotten into rugby, like I was never the biggest NFL fan to begin with. The more I've gotten into rugby, the less I want to watch the NFL. It's just, but I did watch some college yesterday. My college did do well. But with that being said, somebody had posed a question to me of why don't NFL players convert to the game of rugby? Now, I know you've watched a lot of American football. You like American television. And my answer is always simple. It's economical because you don't make as much playing rugby. And two, I don't think those guys have the stamina to do 80 minutes. Like, there's no stop.
It's two different sports, man. And this is
exactly. I tell them that. It's not the same sport. Quit comparing them.
Yeah.
So,
look, I mean, we understand the history, right? We understand that American football is really derived from rugby in some way or form many, many years ago. But at the end of the day, you know what? The American football is high pace, high collision, short sprints.
For 8 seconds. For 8 to 10 seconds. Yeah.
To get as far as you can in as quick a time frame to get that 10 yards, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas rugby is continual, and your conditioning for these two sports are completely different. And this is why we both knew that Reece Zammit's not going to make the
oh God, that's not
50,
happening.
What's it, 53 man? Was it the 53 man? Yeah. So we weren't going to make the 53 man squad. Well, he wasn't going to make it. And to be quite frank, I still don't think he's going to make any squad whatsoever, actually.
I've made the prediction he'll be back home by Christmas, or as soon as Warren Gatlin gets the axe, whatever comes first.
Yeah.
He just doesn't.
People don't want to work. People don't want to play for that oak anymore, right?
Which is so sad. Because we're talking 5 years ago, they were in a semifinal at a Rugby World Cup, and 5 years later, like we kind of can say that about a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Not ours, obviously. We can't say that about ours, but I mean, like, it's like, God, they fell and they fell fast.
They fell hard, man. They fell hard.
Yeah. Like, I think
But
they've
also,
got
they had some of the best players that retired, mate. I mean, you
Alan
have a
Wynne
look
Jones.
at
Alan
Alan
Wynne
Jones,
God.
Dan Bigger. Man, I fucking hated that oak. Like, I wanted to punch him in the throat when they came and played here on Loftus. I was at that game, right? And he went walking up to Colby like
Yeah.
you know what he did. I don't know if they showed it on telly or not, but man,
yes, they did.
I was
they did.
I was going bananas, bro. I was going to be fucking banned for life at rugby games. I was like ready to punch that fucker. But anyways, because we know he was a prick. That was just like him. Like, what's that other fuckface? Like, no arms Farrell. Him as well.
He's a prick.
Like,
they're professional
those
assholes.
guys are just
they're professional assholes.
So I lumped them together. So anyways, so when these guys, they all left, I mean, Wales had nothing left, mate. They fucked. So, I mean, who are they going to play now?
So would you consider Billy LaRue would be a professional asshole?
Yeah, but I do think Billy LaRue is a professional asshole.
Like, he talks. But I love that about him. There was
he's always red in the face when you see him on the pitch. Like, he has not even done the runs just now. He's just like red in the face. He's like pissed.
Well,
and
like,
I love it. I love it as well because that's how we are.
There was a clip a few years ago when we were playing Australia, and I want to say it was like Nick Shite. His name's Nick White was saying something to the ref, and Willie came up to him and told him like, "Oh, fuck off, right in front of the ref." So there was that one. That was funny, and then I think maybe the same game or the next game was the one where Makazole PP told him to shut up. Like, you're just like laughing your ass off because it's like, it's what you would say too.
100%. They're human beings, man. Like, this is the problem, right? A lot of people don't understand. Like, rugby players are just
human beings. Oh,
we put them on this pedestal, but they're just normal.
Last night, right before a scrum that was right in front of me, one of the flankers for the North Texas team was just running his gums at the referee, and the referee had to tell him, "Stop, or I will send you off." He was right. The referee was making bullshit calls, but like, when I saw that, I just thought like, damn, man. And guess what that guy ended up getting? Man of the match. Man of the match.
But was that guy the captain, though?
No. But it was like, he was flapping his gums. The ref told him to shut up, and he ended up getting man of the match because, he was flapping. No, he scored like 3 tries, I think. But yeah, like, that's with Wales. They lost all of it. They went here. I don't think firing Gatlin's going to fix it either. I think it's kind of like, oh, Joe Schmidt's going to turn the Wallabies. Or no, that's a rubbish bin fire. It's going to take forever to get that. I could easily see Australia not even getting out of the pool in their own World Cup game. That would be. Do you remember the last time that happened?
Yeah. No, I can't, actually.
2015.
Was it not England?
2015, England did not get out of their pool when they hosted. Man, I've had some talks about that, and people have said that they were like, okay, so Australia, New Zealand final 2015. Was it 2015 or 2011 where the referee fucked us and kept us from going to the final?
2011.
2011. Okay, the referee fucked us. We were who were we playing that we got fucked?
Australia.
Okay. All right.
I remember that game because I punched a brick out of my dad's wall.
No shit, you were that pissed off. I don't remember. What was the controversy around? Like, what was?
Man, that ref was just giving some fucking bullshit calls, man.
Yeah.
Like he would, like, for them on our try line. Okay, he would allow shit to happen, which wasn't allowed.
Yeah.
When we did the same stuff, he would penalize us the whole time. And that guy never fucking reffed again, that I know of. Okay? Because even the commentators, the Australian commentators, okay, whilst the game is going on, they're like, that's some very bad calls.
Oh, so even the commentators were agreeing.
100%. The Australian public was like that's like poor fucking calls, okay? And that just like drove me even more angry because like if even their people are agreeing, then you must know it's some fucking bullshit call.
Some bad shit is afoot.
Yeah. That was 2011 that we got fucked out of it for sure.
Man. And last bit of news I'm going to bring up. I read this morning. Apparently, looking for bids to host a Rugby World Cup. I want to say it was like 300 million rand to put down, like to just get in the bid process.
Yeah.
And the South African government said, we're not doing that. Which, like, look, I agree because that 300 million rand can go to something else. But, like, how is it?
But I mean, honestly, what's 300 million rand if you embezzle billions?
Well, we're hoping to stop that. We're hoping to stop. The GNU is hoping to stop that. But still, here's the thing, and we've brought it up on here before, and it kind of ties back to the whole thing about they don't want us. They want our players, but they don't want us. How is it that the team that's won the most World Cups has hosted one?
Yeah.
And it's like people say, well, do you have the facilities? I'm like, yes, look. The URC fans bitch about lack of attendance at stadiums in South Africa. Yeah. It's like, it's because you're playing in a 15,000 seat stadium. We play in 50,000 seat stadiums.
Yeah,
100%. We play in international test stadiums. You play in club stadiums, like, and I know there's issues. Obviously, load shedding seemed to have gotten cleaned up, but there are issues in South Africa. But do you want to see another World Cup there?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, then I can go to all the fucking games for sure. So I can't afford to go abroad and fucking go watch the games there.
Neither can I.
But I mean, if it comes to South Africa, for sure, I'll be watching those games for sure. And
you're damn right.
Like at least two or three of the Springbok games. And
I'm gonna be putting a soft pad in the back of your van. I'm flying down, and we're going to every single. And we're gonna have a braai in the back that we can pull out, braai wherever we camp, and go to every single fucking game. And it's man. Dude, I've already told my employer, like, when that comes in 2031, I will be taking an extended leave from work. And they were like, I'm probably gonna be off for 6 weeks. Like, for what? I'm like, I'm gonna go to every single game I can. Like, I'm gonna go to every single Bok pool game, everything. Like, I'm doing this. So
that's in America, right?
And that's also been kind of a subject of debate too, is like, where are they going to hold those games? Because the problem we have in the US is that you either have 5,000 to 10,000 seats. That's what high school kids play in, or you have 90,000 seats. We don't have a lot of 25, 30,000 seat stadiums. We do. They're for soccer. Like, they're not for rugby, for football. So it's kind of been the debate, like, hey, where are we going to hold the games at? I'm still pretty much betting. I think the final will be at Soldier Field, which is where the Chicago Bears play in Chicago. I think that's where the final will be held. It's 63,000 capacity. But obviously I'm excited for that. We've got several years before that happens, but it's going to be pretty interesting. There's also rumors that the Springboks and All Blacks are going to play here.
Yeah. I don't know fucking why though.
So Ireland and the All Blacks are playing here next autumn in October or September, October 20, maybe November of 2025. They're going to be playing a game here in Chicago. I will fly up for that, obviously, because it's the two. Well, like they do the game in Chicago because Chicago has a lot of Irish people, so it's like they can sell the tickets to that. I don't think they'll do that game in Chicago. They'll probably do that game in like Los Angeles or San Diego because of the amount of Kiwis that are there. So if that does happen, I'll be there. The last time I saw the Springboks play here was against Wales, right after Rassie took the. That was Peter Steph-Totoy's first game captaining, and he made up for it this last year when we beat the absolute shit out of them before we played Ireland. And I didn't mind. I know, Rassi did that because they were broke. He needed a paycheck.
Yeah, 100%.
The weather was horrible. It was cold. It was wet. And God, what a miserable experience that was just because we lost. If we had won, I wouldn't have given a fuck about the weather.
Yeah, 100%. So tell me, what was your thoughts of the New Zealand pundits this week coming out judging Matthew Carley, mate?
The baby elephant is the biggest baby in the mammal kingdom, except for Kiwi All Black fans and referees. They whine. So, no, and I get it, man. Like, we do the same thing when we lose too. The first thing we'll always want to jump to is like, oh, it's the refs. And it's like, I try not to be that guy, but I don't think that's why you lost. Matthew Carley had nothing to do with you losing.
Yeah.
You lost.
I actually think Matthew Carley was decent.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Compared to the week before, the guy that we had the week before, who was absolutely atrocious.
Yeah.
But like,
I think Carley was just very strict, right? But he was strict all around. Okay, we lost a fuckload of balls as well, like on the breakdown and stuff like that. So a lot of penalties went towards New Zealand because of that. And,
that is who's refereeing our game in Argentina as well. Matthew Carley.
So I honestly think he didn't do a bad job of it. To be quite frank, when these guys are saying like he's making a mockery of officiating and blah 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 blah, I was like, really, my guy, you're pulling something like, I don't know, you're opening an umbrella in somebody's arsehole right now, because quite frank, he wasn't the way they described him, to be honest. He was actually pretty fair.
Well, so I've had a back and forth, and you've seen it on my TikTok. I looked at the record of Ian Foster through 7 games and the record of Razor through 7 games.
Yeah.
Ian Foster had 1 less loss, but he had a tie.
Yeah.
And I keep telling Kiwis, man, like, you guys have this mentality that he's a golden boy.
Yeah.
That's going to get you fucked up. Because if he's shit, you're going to have to admit it at some point. They wouldn't do it with Fozzie, and look what he did to the team. They were 5th ranked at one point.
Yeah.
You're not.
We had to do that. We had to do that with Katia, mate. So,
yeah.
I mean,
you had to admit that this wasn't working, and I don't want to shit on the guy because this is his first head coaching. Well, it's not technically. He coached Brazil as well, but like, they seem to have this like mentality that like, oh, it's better than it. No, this is exactly the same. Like, he's not really any better at this point than Foz. Oh, well, it's a young team. Dude, you're trotting out Bowden Barrett, man. Like, this is not a young
like your highest cap fucking player.
Yeah, like you're trotting out guys that, like, Sam Kane has no fucking business being on that team anymore. He's rubbish. Like, and I want to, I hope he works out. I hope he pans out. But I also hope, like, All Blacks fans know when to say enough is enough.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, I worry about it. I don't worry about it because my team's number 1, but I worry about it because that was always like, they were always the level of what was great. And now, like, no, like, Ireland's going to beat the brakes off of them at the end of the year. Unless something drastically changes, Ireland is going to destroy them.
Look, man,
that's just, yeah.
I think it's still early days.
Yeah.
It's difficult to say what he's going to be able to do with that specific team. However, I do believe that he needs to look outwards, not inwards. Especially when going towards your talent. Like, there's some of those people that's just not who they used to be, right? Like for instance, Reese. Like for instance, there's a couple of them, right?
Yeah.
What's that outside center's name? What's his name again?
Rico Iwani.
Yeah, Iwani. Like
Yeah.
he's a liability, you know. He's
Plays no
fast as
defense.
fuck, boy,
Yeah.
but I mean, he's got no defense.
He plays no
So-
defense. Yeah.
So you've got people that's just like they're not real. And if you have a look at what South African strengths are, like our 13 generals, our defense. Okay, that's really he's there to do that. Okay,
Yeah.
and anyway, so you get these guys that's still based in a team, and it's great to have a whole family of fucking rugby players playing together, you know. But let's be quite frank. I mean, some of those guys really don't belong there, or they're being played out of position. And I mean, you get guys like Scott, Barrett.
Scott Barrett. He should
He's
be playing
supposed to be a
flanker.
flanker.
He should be playing
Or he
flanker.
should not be playing. But I
Yeah,
mean, but flanker for sure is his position, in my opinion. And then you get guys like Geordie. Yeah, Geordie's fine as an inside center. He runs hard. But then you get his brother, and his brother's forever and a day being played as fullback. Where I would guess in the absence of other players, he would probably be a better fucking fly off. But I mean, this is just my opinions, right? And I mean, I don't really know the New Zealand rugby team as well as I do know my own. But it just feels like there's some players there that's not supposed to be there, and then there's other players there that's being played out of position, and you know, it doesn't matter how much you want to do it. You can use all the glue in the world. You can't put Humpty Dumpty back together again, right? You're going to have to build that team from the ground up. Get your key players in the key positions where you need them, and build the team around it, and get the rest of the guys into place that can really do what you set out to do with your style of play. I mean, if you have a look at stuff that Rusty did, he first did the first thing. Like, this is where Alistair Coetzee failed, and we've discussed it before.
Yeah.
Okay, is that he wanted to do what Razzie wanted to do, but too early. Okay, so meaning that he wanted to get the flashy game in the back line, okay, but without using the upfront raw power that we've already got. So he wanted to work on the refining 10%, and he forgot about the 90% before that. And so this is what Rassi did. He went back to like the drawing board and said, let's get our forwards done first, okay, because that's always been a strength of South African rugby, okay. Let's get our forwards going. Let's get the front foot ball. We'll work on the back line afterwards, right? And sure, he did do some changes on the back line and get them a bit more exciting and get them winning games, okay. But now you start to see the evolution of what happened back then and where it's leading towards, right? You got your forwards that's now being put in place. We're competitive on the front football. We're competitive generating that front football, getting across that advantage line with our big players, and then obviously opening it up for the back line. But I mean, that was just part of the evolution to get us to where we're at now.
Well,
okay.
We kind of think about that, and I really had to step back and realize Rossi coached the team for 2 years, okay, won the World Cup in 2019, and then said, hey, you know what? I'm stepping back.
Yeah.
And became the director of rugby. And for me, I think what happened with that was that he saw there were problems from the top down.
Yeah.
So he took over the administrative side of it, calls his buddy, hey, Jock, man, I got a job for you. You just keep doing what we were doing. I'm going to fix everything from the top.
Yeah.
Wins another World Cup, takes the head coaching job back. It's like you kind of talked about Coetzee wanting to do what Rassi did without it. Coetzee wanted to drive the sports car, but he didn't want to fix the road. Rassi fixed the road. Now he's getting the sports car.
Yeah.
So he can haul ass down the motorway.
Yeah.
And damn, you got to think the genius that is Rassi Erasmus. Like what can we say? He saved our rugby, man. He saved SA rugby. And
no, look, I mean, there's
gotta love him for it. Gotta love him for it.
He of course did a lot of important things. You have to also give it to the players, man. Because I mean, at the end of the day, This guy got you guys to buy into his ideals, right? But you went out there and made it happen. And it's such a great thing to see, when a team just like pulls together, right? So we always talk about that in business. You want this leader to have this ideal and plan for the business, and everybody needs to buy into that to actually make it a success, right? He drives it, but everybody else needs to buy into it, because it just like that inspirational leadership. That's what you require, and Rassi brings that. But you know what Rassi also brings, and this is what's, I think, more important sometimes, right? Is that he brings no bullshit. Okay, and this is what people often overlook. Okay, is that I find, like, this was my gripe with Ninaba, right? And with a lot of the guys abroad, okay, like you spoke of Razor wearing his suit, and I feel like there's a lot of politics happening, okay, and there's not as much clarity coming down to the players,
Yeah.
okay. So, and I feel like that's what Rassi brings, is that he has open heart-to-hearts with these people, have open conversations, flat-footed conversations, not like,
Yeah.
I'm this big leader and I'm talking down at you. I think, like you mentioned the last time, he walks
He
around
can,
in his
he can,
tracksuit.
yeah.
And
Well, he can do that too. We
yeah,
saw that in Chasing the Sun. He
yeah,
could take these boys and put them in their place, but like at the same
yeah,
time, the clip that we all, obviously the first season we saw the Makazole Mapipi story where he starts crying, but
yeah,
then in
yeah,
season 2, when Bongi Manambi is in the locker room like crying,
yeah,
and Rassi walks up to him and like talks to him like a dad, like
yeah,
you realize that Rassi has an emotional investment in these boys.
yeah,
Like
100%.
they look at him not just as a coach and a boss, but like a father figure. Because a lot of them didn't have that in their lives, and the ones that did treat them as if it's their, like it's just. We went from famine to feast. We went from bottom of the ditch to top of the mountain, and it's got to be, it makes me smile, makes me happy.
Look, man, we're very fortunate to be living in these times. I mean, I still remember when, like, we were still as passionate, but we didn't win as many games. And
yeah,
I mean, what has it been now? 20 out of 23, 21 out of 24. I don't even know what the number is up now.
Yeah.
But that we've won in the last couple of games. So, the longer we're going on, and the better our record can become, the greater for us, because this is what Rassi promised, right? I think it was just earlier this year when he said he's going after winning percentage now, right?
Yeah.
And because that gets the crowd behind you every time, right? Nothing builds a crowd like winning games.
The bandwagon fans.
Yeah.
Any other time, it pisses me off. Now does not bother me one bit. You can bandwagon all you want right now, man. Like, I don't care. You come out, and it means something when you see the jerseys being worn by more people. Like, I've got friends all over South Africa, and they've told me it's like, oh yeah, on game days, like you always see Springbok stuff on game days, but they were like, now it's like way more. Like when you go to the pub, before when there'd be 40, 50, 60 people, now there's 200 people. And it's like,
yeah,
the team sees that, that everyone sees that, and it's what makes it great. But this about wraps it up for this week.
Yeah.
We'll do an hour every week, same time. It's 11:15 a.m. here. I think it's 18:15 for you. Is that?
Yeah. 6:15 in the evening.
So 18:15 for South Africa, 17:15 for you guys in the UK, and 11:15 a.m. here in Texas. Once again, Pierre, my man, like coming in clutch. At the last, I didn't know I was getting set up to do this by myself, man, and because I hadn't heard from you all morning, and then and then you messaged me like right before, hey man, I'm getting ready right now, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like I had all these screens set up and everything. I'm not complaining, dude. You make it easier, but share this around, folks. Come on out to our lives. We've got the comment section. If you have any questions, you can always ask any questions on the side here. Come on out, set your watch every week. This time we will be coming on live here to talk about rugby. Next week, obviously, we'll have a game to talk about.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. I'm so excited.
Fuck. What's the start time for you guys?
I actually don't know. Let's have a look.
Look it up, dude. Because for me, it's like 4:00 in the afternoon.
I think it was going to be like 11 or something at night.
Oh, is it a night game for you guys? Yeah. So for us, it's an afternoon game. I might, depending on the weather. Well, fuck that. Go ahead, and that makes me not really a South African if I'm talking about the weather in a braai, because I've seen fucking South Africans braai in the snow. I've seen it,
do, man.
I've seen a torrential downpour and like 3 guys are sitting with umbrellas covering the braai while it's just like a storm is blowing through and they're just still braaiing in the snow.
We'd be like, oh, here comes a tornado. Get fucked. We braai.
Yeah. Footsick, we're over here braaiing. But yeah, I think next Saturday I'll probably get something together and do something like that as we take on the Pumas. 11 p.m.
Yeah. It's fucking late. But looks, I'm still going to be fucking watching. I don't give a shit how late it is.
How many Brennus and Cokes deep will you be at that hour?
No, bro. I have to consider, my stomach. And, well, even more so, I need to consider that, I need to actually watch the game. So, because otherwise, what the fuck are we going to talk about the next day? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I need to remember the game. So I might have a couple of runners in the afternoon. Maybe I go take half a nap, feel better, refreshed when the game comes on. I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
But like I said, thank you guys once again. Thank you, Pierre, coming and hanging out
guys.
like we always do.
Appreciate you.
And we'll see you guys next weekend.
For sure. Ciao.